Welcome back, all my 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ here with Tim's Nation. Finally got the gray wall covered. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
He is very happy.
So if you guys checked out some of the other videos that we put up on the channel already today, we're trying a little bit of a different format here with how we're presenting the battle reports. So guys, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for notifications so you can get notified for all the videos in this chain. Now, mind you, this is something in concept that we've talked about on how we can do it. And once you start doing it, man, you find out a lot of things you're like, oh, I wish I would have said this, or I wish I would have done it this way. So we are looking for some feedback, some ideas, so we can get some direction on how we do this. I feel very confident with the new format. I think we just need some practice.
Yeah, it might take a couple weeks to iron out the wrinkles in it, but give us an idea of what you guys think about it. Whether you like the separate videos that kind of go more in depth in the army or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's kind of what we're looking for, because like I said, this is going to be, if you guys aren't watching, you guys aren't interested, that's what we're doing this for. That's what we're doing this for, is for everyone else to, like, the hobby's great, the community's great, and it's a community that we want to be a part of at this level. So with that being said, that's a little bit longer than some of the intros I want to have going forward on these things, but I want to explain what we're doing for people who've watched some of my battle reports in the past and might only tune in on this one. We actually will have two videos, one for each of our armies, explaining what the armies were we brought down today. And I'm trying to do that whole thing where you can say, there's a link down here. I've seen it. So there's like a link right here to see our armies if you want to go and check those out. But aside from that, we are still going to tell you basically what we're bringing here today. So let's get started. So at this point, we'll start where we're actually going to go into the regular part of the video and say, Lane, what are you bringing today?
Today I've got DeathWatch. This is my Alpha Strike list. Basically, it's built up so that it can hit really hard turn one, but also doesn't mind going second, because I don't expose my whole army in order to hit hard turn one. I've got a Phobos Captain. I've got a Chaplain on bike. I've got two Spectrus kill teams. Those are the Infiltrators and Eliminators with Las Fusils. I have an Indomitor kill team. That is the Heavy Intercessors with Volstorm Aggressors. I also have a Proteus kill team, which is the Firstborn Marines. This one is a 5-man squad that has 4 of the Infernus Heavy Bolters. I've also got a little 3-man Eliminator squad. I've got a 6-man Eradicator squad with 2 multi-meltas. I've got 3 of the Relic Contemptor Dreadnoughts. Each of those cost me a command point, so I'm starting off with 0 today. See how that goes. And then I've got a drop pod to bring in those Proteus kill teams, the Infernus Heavy Bolters.
All right, so for me, I'm looking at my Novak Dynasty. I like to call the Canoptek Harvest. This list has Fast Attack Compulsory with 2 squads of Wraiths. One's a 5-man with Claws. The other's a 4-man with Whip Coils. I have 2 9-man Scarab units. In my troops, I have 1 19-man squad of Necron Warriors with the Reapers. Over into Elites, we got 2 of the C'tans, Void Dragon, Nightbringer, 3 Spiders, all equipped with Particle Beamers and a single Loom Prism. I have 2 Chronomancers in the headquarters section, a Overlord with the Pharaon keyword, and the Technomancer, who's going to be handing out all my buffs and hopefully not needing to resurrect some guys today. Already trying to put myself in on the back foot, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna have to bring some guys back." But
we are.
You got guns,
and we hate filthy Xenos, so I have a stratagem just for you.
No, you don't. I took it out of your book.
Stratagem?
No, I took it out
elsewhere.
It's right up here, buddy.
Yeah, so for 1 CP, DeathWatch can make a Necron unit when they do their reanimation. Make it -1 to the reanimation.
When does that trigger? Does that trigger for my orb?
Huh?
When I use the resurrection orb, could you weaken the orb?
No, it's after an attack. So it's after 1 unit makes an attack.
Okay.
So I don't think it would affect your resurrection.
Awesome. So first things first, secondaries. I'm going to be taking Engage on all fronts this time. I always usually take Purge, but with the mission we're playing today, I want to see if Engage works in this scenario, see how much it does in points, and just feel it out. Make sure, checking all the boxes, because again, we are getting ready for Bedlam at the Berg. Lane was very courteous as to bring his DeathWatch to play against me so that I could keep practicing Necron without being Necron and Devotean multiple times. So thank you for doing that. I do appreciate it. Lane's been able to get a lot of practice games in, so he was okay to sit back on this one. I appreciate it, but I do appreciate it. Right. So I'm going to be doing Engage. I'm going to do Treasure of Aeons, even though you pick disadvantagedly to me. That's probably not even a word. I still can move real aggressively and play on those objectives, so that'll be nice. And Treasure, there's a lot of center objectives. And as I'm saying this, we'll say we are playing Data Scry Salvaging, but more on that in a little bit. Lane, what do you got?
DeathWatch secondary game is not really strong right now. Probably weakest of the Space Marines. But I am taking Assassinate. He's got 6 characters. Most of them are going to be hidden, but the Satans will be coming at me. So, I've got to kill them. I've got to deal with them. Might as well get a couple points for it there. Also took no prisoners. This is the one I should be able to back down because he's got a ton of wounds on the table that count towards that, and he reanimates. So, and the third one will be Raise the Banners. I do have units that can forward deploy, Phobos units, so I should be able to put up a couple banners.
Awesome. So, yeah, we are going to be doing Data Scry Salvaging. It's one that I kind of have a rough time with this mission a little bit. I started to figure some stuff out, but having one good game isn't enough. I want a second one. I want a second solid one and see what I can do. And I am glad to see Marines, even though your Marines don't quite get all the boosts and buffs that traditional Marines are getting right now, correct?
Right. Yeah, the deal is, if you're not aware, DeathWatch can't take advantage of the current update, bounce rate update that lets Space Marines stay in Devastator Doctrine, essentially all game. Because the DeathWatch replace basic Devastator or basic doctrines for Space Marines with theirs, which means I can choose which one is active which turn, but have limits to them. It basically puts me in a bad spot where I'm still only going to get Devastator Doctrine once per turn,
right? Or
once per game. So that Codex Warfare secondary just doesn't work for me the way it does for War. So I'll lose that extra AP and those benefits. And also the Codex Warfare secondary is not very strong for my army.
So what about the point reductions on guns? Did that help you a bit?
A little bit, not as much as it helped other armies. I know Space Wolves got a ton of melting guns. Just the way DeathWatch build out their units, and they didn't really benefit a whole lot from the points reductions. There were some. I mean, my list probably went down a couple hundred points, but I know a lot of Space Marines dropped 300-400 points. So we didn't see quite that much of a benefit. So it's fine. I played DeathWatch a lot last year, and I was ready to try Votan for a while, so I've been happy with my Votan. But they do need some adjustments to be truly competitive.
Yep, and I mean, right now we're at the time that what you see is basically what you get. There might be a couple of things. There's supposed to be an update dropping pretty soon, but aside from seeing the update, I don't think many of the armies are really going to fluctuate in the meta right now. Too close to 10th edition. Yeah. What you see is what you got. We're pretty much getting close to Wiswig of 9th edition, the finale.
If they do give us a balanced data slate update, I'm sure DeathWatch will be in there because I think we are bottom of GW's meta watch, bottom win percentage there. So maybe we'll get a little help. We'll see.
Maybe a tweak to that whole doctrine effect.
Yeah, probably.
But with that being said, we just need to decide where we're deploying. You know always how it works on the channel. Odd or evens, my friend?
Even.
That is a 2. It took a minute to get there, but that is a 2. Do you want to deploy first or second?
You can drop first.
All right, I will be dropping first, and then we'll be back after deployments with the mission and our armies. And we are deployed. So for the Necrons, I, once again, post up, built a house full of bugs and spiders. This is not a very good house. I just realized that. I always build a house, and then the first thing I do is fill it with spiders, and scarabs, and all these sorts of little bugs.
Don't worry, DJ. I've brought some exterminators.
Yeah, literally. Never buy a house that I've built. 2 years later, I start getting into the housing market. So I put the Catans out forward. He has a lot of guns. He could do the 3 damage onto them, but that's about it. There's not as much of a close combat threat, and he doesn't have many phases he can hurt them. So I'm not afraid to take damage on these guys early. My wraiths are put in 2 lines so that I can fly across the field and be able to hit objectives from all sorts of different spots. And I have scarabs to go and hang out over here. Now, Lane, we're going to start over here and talk to us about it. Now, you did deploy aggressively because you have outs.
Yeah, I've got the Lord of the Sea Warlord trait, and I've got these Phobos units all put out here, but I can redeploy up to 3 of them after we roll off to see who goes first. So I've got a few guys on an objective here. This is a combat squatted Spectre's kill team, so it's 3 infiltrators and 2 eliminators. I've got the other half of that team here. I've got 3-man eliminator squad over there, and then these eliminators, Spectre's kill team is not combat squatted. They're up here, but I can redeploy.
And they are actually on top of the building.
Yep.
Since I know a lot of times we throw stuff underneath.
Yeah, they're up there.
Okay, and you got a couple of things off board.
I've got the drop pod with the 5-man Proteus kill team in it that's got Infernus heavy bolters. So just a lot of shots.
Awesome. So Lane, what mission are we? Now let's talk a little bit about mission. We're doing data scry salvaging.
Yeah, so data scry salvage. We've got 6 objectives on the table. This is a hold 2, hold 3, hold more mission. In addition to that, it does have sticky objectives. If you hold anything through your command phase with an OBSEC unit, you would continue to hold it even after you move off of it until an opponent model gets on there. The only OBSEC you have is the warrior squad, but I've got a lot of OBSEC because of my kill team. So, and I'm also Space Marines. But
then we have we can complete an action with a unit on our home field objective, and we score a point at the end of the battle route towards our primary to a maximum of 3 for each objective we hold in no man's land. All right, so I think that's everything. Now we're ready to start playing some Hammer, throw some dice, and see where we go out. Do you want to go first or second? What do you think?
I specifically built this list so I can go either way.
Okay, I'd like to see first, but I'm fine for second as well. All right, let's see.
Here we go. I guess I'm going first.
Looks like it's going to be you. So you have some redeploys, and we'll be back to start your turn. All right. So Lane, we finished up your movement. Now, first of all, you did have a redeploy, and there was only one thing you did, which was this squad that was hanging out on this little rock over here. You picked them up and put them in reserve.
Yeah, I threw them into reserve just so they weren't getting charged by all the Satans coming at me at turn 1. But other than that, didn't do anything. And then movement, these guys shuffled back a little bit, put up a banner. These guys put up a banner. These guys dropped in. Again, heavy flamers, heavy bolters. The Volkite contemptors moved up a little bit so they could shoot at some scarabs. That's about it.
All right, so now it's time for the shooting phase. All right, so Lane, we finished up your movement. Now, first of all, you did have a redeploy, and there was only one thing you did, which was this squad that was hanging out on this little rock over here. You picked them up and put them in reserve.
Yeah, I threw them into reserve just so they weren't getting charged by all the Satans coming at me at turn 1. But other than that, didn't do anything. And then movement, these guys shuffled back a little bit, put up a banner. These guys put up a banner. These guys dropped in. Again, heavy flamers, heavy bolters. The Volkite contemptors moved up a little bit so they could shoot at some scarabs. That's about it.
All right, so now it's time for the shooting phase. Well, that escalated quickly. Wasn't expecting the drop pod so early. So my scarabs went bye-bye to these Combi heavy bolter, heavy flamers. So silly. Some extra shots came downfield from both of the Volkites, actually all 3 Volkites. And after the scarabs were gone, Lane proceeded to pick up my Chronomancer, spent a command point to try and get him to stand back up. Unfortunately, that was not successful. So Lane, at the end of your turn, you'll get 2 on the data scry.
Yeah, because I've got 2 here. I got 3 points for assassinate because I killed the character. And then I got 3 points, I guess, for no prisoners because I took up 36 wounds of scurbs.
All right, Necrons are coming back at you. All righty, so one thing I forgot to mention, the Nightbringer did take damage last turn. Now he, in Lane's shooting phase, so he gained a wound back, living metal to go up to 7. I spent a command point, so now I'm on double Sky of Falling Stars, moving the Catans up to take position and start hitting the field. I also brought out both squads of Wraiths on the objectives and kind of strung them back to where my Overlord's underneath so we can still hand out buffs. Losing my Chronomancers kept my other squad of Scarabs kind of hidden for right now. There's too many big guns out there for them to run. And the Spiders hung back too. Again, the invul kind of being necessary. I did pop the Veil on the Necron Warriors to bring them over here, kind of reset and get into a better position. And I'm probably going to have to try to shoot down most of these Space Marines back here before I can start making aggressive moves onto these objectives. Hopefully the race in the middle will provide enough of a threat to be able to let me start playing my game elsewhere. So we'll see how this plays out for me. Going over to the Catan, bringing some skies down on some Marines. Alrighty, so the Catans did a little bit of damage. We were able to beat up some of these squads in the building more so. Did pick off one with Catan powers, one of the eliminators, and then failed to charge with the Nightbreaker. Void Dragon, also again, he threw Sky Falling Stars, helped out with the damage output on those two 10-mans in the building, and then called it a day. Wraiths are advancing, so they weren't able to do anything. Scarab started the Data Scry action, and the only thing that's left, after the warrior shot at these Marines, they beat up quite a few and then landed a charge. That Novak Dynasty gave me the +1 charge, came in clutch as I rolled an 8 and was able to get the 9. So now I just need the warriors to take those guys out so I can move a little bit more on the consolidate with a couple of dudes to be able to grab that objective and take it away from lane and score extra points this turn. All right, so I spent a command point to give them the Novak +1 attack just to make sure we cleaned everything up, then piled into the drop pod so that my warriors can't be shot at. With measuring, I was able to get one more warrior on the objective, so I took that objective and kicked the banner off of it. So for this score for the turn, I got a 3 on Treasure of Aeons because I was able to take those 2 objectives. No Ancient Machineries for the round, but I did get and no Engage on all fronts, but I did get 3 on Data Scry Salvaging, so I was able to grab all 3 objectives outside my zone and put lane at a 4 for primary. So let's get over to the Marines and the DeathWatch turn. Looks like Lane liked my idea, and he's evacuating the house as well. Everyone came out to play, but man, those heavy eradicators were pretty far. That was like a 30-inch move with like jump and that stuff. Man,
Yeah.
What happened there?
The jumpy boys. Yeah. So the chaplain had the Beacon Angelus. So meaning once per game, I can grab a unit and bring him to within 6 inches of him, more than 9 inches from an opponent. So I did that. So I'm going to try to kill all those wraiths in this turn. So the Eradicators jumped over. Aggressors came out. Volkite Contemptors moved up. Try and kill all that stuff is the plan, is the big plan. Over here, these guys moved back a little bit and got on the objective because until DJ kills this drop pod, he can't put any more.
I can't move closer if I only have a 3-inch move. And if I don't finish my move closer to an enemy unit, then I can't move that direction. So with him being 4 inches away, we measured this out. With him being 4 inches away, I can't finish my move with these guys that are on the objective and sorts, and these guys back here cannot move closer to his guys when they could finish their move and be closer to the pod. So until the pod is destroyed by Necron warriors in combat, I can't progress towards him. So if I fall back, then I don't have a round of damage. There's a lot of negative that happens there unless I can somehow pick up that pod.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I also popped the Tome of Ectoclades this turn against the Wraiths. So anybody within 6 inches of the captain will be re-rolling all wounds against the Wraiths. We're going to put everything into them, see if we can pick those up. The Satans are just going to be a problem that I'm going to have to try and deal with maybe turn 4 or 5. They're not going to really take a whole lot of damage this turn yet, or this game yet. So
awesome. All right. Well, let's get over to the shooting. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with these little eradicators over here, and they're going to shoot at the race. So how does it work with them? They get to like double tap and stuff, right?
There's a whole lot of business going on here. First of all, because of the captain is here, they're going to reroll ones to hit. Second of all, the Tome of Ectoclades is popped off on the Wraith, so they'll be rerolling all wounds. Because the whole unit's going at one target, the 5-man Wraith unit, everybody gets a double shoot. That includes the multi-meltas.
Now, do I get to reanimate between those? Because
it's the same unit shooting.
Okay, it's not a second. It's not can shoot again, so it doesn't.
I have to pick it all the same target, so it's not like it's a separate shooting. It's not like, oh, and then also at the end of the phase you shoot. No, it's all going to be in the same blast, although it's...
All right, so we're going to leave that as that. Let us know in the comment section. Trying to figure this out. Between the Eradicator shooting phase, after they shoot a second time, do I get to reanimate between each of the shooting sequences since they get to shoot? For this, we'll just do it as no, they can't. But not 100% sure. I think I was talking with someone before. I think that because of the way the Eradicators shoot, that I get to, after they finish their first volley, then I get to reanimate, then he gets to shoot again. But we'll take a look into that a little bit deeper. Lane, go ahead and Fire away.
All right, so these are the multi-meltas. Because they are heavy, they move, so they'll be hitting on 4s. Hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s.
Ouch. No ones.
What the hits, though? And then these are wounding on 3s. They got full rerolls. There we go. You got 6. Definitely a melt range here, so.
So they're automatically going to be minimal 3 damage, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I will save 3, so 3 will die. And then that's it for their shooting. So I will get to do the reanimations now.
That's the 2 multi-meltas.
Oh, that's...
It's a 6-man unit. So they got 8 more shots coming in at you.
Oh. All right, so we got 2 more guys that are in melter range.
Yeah, so this is 4 shots from these 2 guys. Reroll. Oh, these guys are hitting on 3s because they're not heavy. And then I need 3s to wound you. Rerolling all. So you got 2 more.
1 goes through, and it's automatically a minimal 3.
Yeah, because
we're so 4 are down.
And we got 4 more shots. These are not in melter range, so we will have to roll damage. Rerolling 1s. Okay, 4 hits. 3s to wounds. Okay, you got 4 wounds.
And that'll be the squad. Well, no, yeah, you could
as long as they don't roll 2 1s. Okay,
yep,
so there you go.
All right, so as seen, the Contemptors were able, well, Contemptor was able to finish off the rest of the rates, but there was more Contemptors there if I didn't completely just lose all into oblivion.
These 2 Contemptors and the aggressors did not get to shoot, so...
Also, we rolled off camera the reanimations on that squad in case I was right. And the more we look into it, I think I do get to reanimate between the Eradicators' shooting phase.
Because I think they shoot twice. If you pull like the closer ones, it does pull out of range or melter range. I think I've seen that. So it may be right. It's odd because I can't select anything else or choose, but I think that happens because it does shoot twice. It's possible to pull out of range, so you're probably right. But like I said,
we rolled the reanimation off camera as well. It failed, so all is well in the land. I probably shouldn't have given those rates to you. Probably should just run the Scarabs up there. I was trying to hold back on some no prisoner points, and well, I gave you the Wraith ones. So now all we have left is a little bit of a fight phase and finish out the turn. Well, there's a big surprise. Necron Warriors failed to take down a drop pod. I really thought I had him there, man. I thought I had him. That toughness 7 didn't mean anything to me. So, Lane, what do you got for scoring?
Oh, I forgot to do the bonus primary. So, for scoring, I have not much. We said I killed 27 wounds worth of wraiths, so it gets me up to 6 points total for no prisoners. That's about it. That's about it. Not going real well on scoring. I am happy about killing those wraiths though, because they can be a problem.
All right, now it's time for the Crons. All right, so finishing off the Necron turn, I did choose to fall back with the Necron Warriors to get them onto that objective and kick the banner down again. And then kind of just stayed back, went and took these 2 objectives with the Catans, and now we're going to make some skies fall. Sky Falling Stars time. All right, so Sky Falling Stars picked off, did a little bit more damage this time. Picking off quite a few more Space Marines. What's that guy laying down for? What happened to him?
He died.
Okay. I mean, hey, I thought maybe he needed to take a nap. Getting up and down that building probably takes some work.
Sky Falling Stars made him sleepy.
Nighty night. So we took out one of the 2 Eradicators that are running away just to get some of the Laz off the table. And once again, blink, banner, bye-bye. We moved in the Void Dragon over here into the middle, and he just smacked a couple of beat up some aggressors, but mostly got the heavy intercessors that is in the squad with the spear and Sky Falling Stars and his own storm effects. So did some damage over there and just trying to clear those guys out. Stayed back into cover with everybody else, kind of hiding back here for the moment since he's got quite a big presence in the middle. Was able to do put a Eradicator at 1 wound at best off Sky, but hey, it's a start. And then the Warriors fall back and just take the objective. So my Technomancer, my Chronomancer went off, and they did some damage. They shot down those guys. They were happy day. So I am going to end the turn there. No charges, because now I will get a 3 on Treasure of Aeons. I will get a 3 for the Data Scribe for the turn. I will get a 2 on engage on all fronts now. And I don't get any ancient machineries yet. I'm kind of just going to hope that I can get that at least at an 8 since I've missed 2 turns on it. So at least if I can get 2 turns later in the game and get an 8, I'll be happy with that one. So let's move it over to Lane and his DeathWatch and see how he can answer back after a little bit of beatdown. So Lane's little friends from the beginning of the game returned at the table and look like they want to pick a fight with a Nightbringer. They're awfully brave.
Yeah.
Aggressors, on the other hand, they're coming out after the Void Dragon, and they got a lot more friends.
I spent 2 CP to auto pass the Canticle that gives +2 to charges. So these guys will have a +2 to charge. So they should only have like a 5-inch charge, maybe 4 or 5-inch charge.
Something easy on the dice.
Yeah, and then the Volkite Contemptors got up along the line here, so they can shoot into the building because we're saying that this is the corner ends here, based on the terrain layout, so that these guys will be able to see the warriors.
Alrighty, so that's it. And then the Eradicators moved up.
You know what?
Did you drop any banners this turn?
Yeah, I guess the Eradicators will put down a banner because they literally can't see anything.
All right. Now it's time for your guys to start shooting. All right, so Warriors got beat up real bad by the Volkites. I was able to remove some and turn one of them off so he couldn't shoot at me, but still lost a lot. That's going to be a leadership check that I'm praying for a 1. And then over here, Void Dragon and Nightbringer took their 3 damage from the turn for the Las Fusils. We're going to go over the charge phase. So, Lane, where are we going?
Going here to there.
All right. And then this one dude's going to charge the Nightbringer, right?
Nope.
Okay, he's totally charging the Nightbringer. Got it. All right, so aggressors into Mr. Void Dragon. All right, so the Void Dragon was able to pick up quite a few off that aggressor squad and get dropped down to 1 wound himself. So it's looking like it's going to be the end in one way or another. He might be able to survive through the combat, but those Las Fusils up on that tower are just saying, yeah, get out of combat and see what happens. So we'll finish out the turn. Lane, talk to me about your scoring. You got 1 on banner for your home fielded banner.
Yeah, I guess that's all I really got.
And then the no prisoner points for the Warriors.
Oh yeah, 17 for no prisoners. I think I'm getting close to 8 for that. Getting the Satans down a little bit, but that hasn't really done anything. At least I took 2 more objectives, so maybe I'll get 4 points on primary next turn. Who knows?
All right.
Who knows?
Going into the Necrons. Okay, so finishing up the movement phase, Nightbringer's getting ready to try and punk some Marines over here and see what we can do and keep the Void Dragon alive with some Catan powers. Otherwise, got a little aggressive, brought the Scarabs and the Spiders out, try and hit the Eradicators, and I want to try and keep Lane on a 0 on primaries. That's the goal of this game right now.
I don't like it.
Warriors are moving over here behind the wall, and they're going to do my first Ancient Machineries to score me some points this turn. Other than that, and then the Technomancer and the Chronomancer, they went back over here in the corner, and they're going to charge that drop pod so they don't get shot by Contemptors and try and take away some assassination points on that. So it's time to Catan power it over here. So resolving the shooting phase, the Spiders were able to put down 2 of the 3 Marines from that little objective secured squad that remains. And then the Void Dragon, man, he went nuts with Catan powers.
Void Dragon.
This is the first time I rolled a random power and got Time's Arrow. And Time's Arrow eviscerated, removed, sent him back in time, forward in time, bye-bye to the last aggressor. So the Void Dragon will survive until... Yeah.
My turn?
Yeah, those right there. That's a bad time. Did what we could. So let's go over into charges and see what we can make happen. I'm going to try and bring the Spiders in a multi-charge. Scarabs are going to charge in so I can take down the Overwatch onto those guys. And the Nightbringer is going to charge the last little Eradicator just to get him out of my objective. All right, so finishing out combat and the turn. The Eradicators got chewed through, not by the Scarabs, but by the Spiders. Lane popped the stratagem for a bonus to his save versus 1 damage weapon, so he walled the Scarabs. There was a lot of 2s in his save roll, but he walled those Scarabs. And then the Spiders came back and chewed through them. Over here, I successfully charged the pod and did no damage.
Missed all.
But they're safe. They're in a safe
The
spot.
one time I want something to die.
Warriors completed their action over there. And moving over here, the Nightbringer, unsurprisingly, murdered, maimed, and butchered that last little dude that was hanging out there of the Eliminators. So finishing out the Necron turn, I will get a 2 for engage on all fronts. I will score a 3 for the mission primary on Data Scry Salvage, whatever data intercept, because I hold 4 center objectives.
You got what, 5, 4 for the score?
For what? For what? The Data Scry?
Oh, Data Scry.
You can only score 3. You can only score a maximum of 3 each turn. I got a 2 for engage because I got out to the 3 quadrants. I will get a 4 on ancient machineries, and I will get a 4 on treasure of aeons because I got all 3 of the treasure objectives. All right, so now we're going to move on to Lane, and the good news is for the Necrons, we were able to hold him to a 0 on primary for this turn. So the Contemptors are getting in position to try and clear some stuff off to start reducing down my scoring. 2 into the Spiders, 1 into those Warriors back there. And then Mr. Chaplin, what are you doing?
Well, hopefully he doesn't have to do anything but hold that objective. Hopefully there's some last fusels that take care of the Void Dragon.
Yeah, it looks like you got
I guess you only got 2 wounds left. I guess the Chaplain could take him out if I needed to.
Bring it. That's all. No shooting. We're going right to assaults.
No.
Contemptors charging them around.
Stop.
Overdue the... All right, let's get through the DeathWatch shooting phase. All right, so finishing out the shooting phase and the turn. Volkite was able to pick up the last 6 warriors on here, but not before ancient machineries happen. And these 2 Volkites both picked up a spider each, leaving me with 1 spider left in that squad. Scarabs are untouched. And the Void Dragon died to the shooting, blew up, and did a little bit of damage to Chaplain. So Lane, no Data Scry again. What else? 1 banner. And
1 banner, yes. 6 wounds for no prisoners. Of course, I took Assassinate, so I do get 3 points for taking down ye old Night Dragon. Night Lord.
Night Dragon?
Dragon Lord.
When your Catan combine.
Void Boy.
Right.
Void Boy is dead.
So now on to Necron 4. So Nightbringer's coming out. He's going to try and finish out some units out of here with some Catan powers and such. The Scarabs flew in. They're both underneath and up top as they're going to charge, so I don't have to worry about the Las Fusils in the next turn against the Nightbringer. And then across the field, my Spider jumped inside the building, and he's going to try and see if he can't have a little bit of fun with this Volkite and maybe buy himself an extra turn on silliness. So let's we'll do a real quick shooting in Catan phase and see how this all wraps up. All right, so the Spider put 1 wound on the Contemptor, and this battle over here, the Battle of the Pod, has reached 5 wounds remaining. We're gonna get them. We're picking on them. Over here, the Nightbringer picked up the Chaplain, to no surprise. And the Scarabs, I spent a command point to give them +1 attack on Novak, and they were actually able to pick up all of the last of his Marines over there. I probably should have stayed down below for that and used my vertical, so now the Contemptors are going to get some no prisoner points. That was a misplay by me.
They'd still be able to get over here and shoot in.
Oh, would they? Okay.
Yeah.
Either way. Okay, so that's not necessarily a misplay, but something to think about in that play, and that thing is trying to not. So as far as points for the turn, I will get a 2 on Treasure of Aeons, because I only hold the 1 with the Nightbringer. I will get a 4 for, or I'm sorry, a 2 for, oh no, because I don't control that one, so I only get a 1 for the Data Scribe for the turn, which I probably don't even need to keep doing anymore.
You said 2 on Treasure?
Yes, I will get a 2 on Treasure, because I only hold the 1 there. But I will get a 3 on Engage on all fronts, because I'm in all 4 table quarters. And we'll move over into Lane's turn 5 and see where we wrap up the game here soon. All right, so at the end of Lane's turn, he was able to pick up the last Spider in the shooting phase, and then he charged to try to take out the Technomancer, but the Technomancer's still around. Put another wound on the pod. What's that pod at?
4.
4 wounds. The Volkites were able to pick up all the Scarabs. They got really hot in there and just picked up the whole entire squad of Scarabs. So, Lane, what do you finish with your turn points?
It's very pitiful. Nothing, basically. I just picked up 36 more wounds for no prisoners because of picking up the Scurbs. So yeah, not a great game for the DeathWatch.
All right,
I
so
think we're going to be less than 50 points.
I'm going to
so.
finish up my turn and just get my guys in position and see what I can score. Okay, let's conclude the game. So for the Necrons, my turn 5, there wasn't really a lot. I more or less just took a knee. Broke out of combat over here to take that objective so I could get the 12 on primary. And the Nightbringer just moved back to make sure that he was able to fully be out in where he needed to be for engage on all fronts. So it's going to allow me to score a couple more points on engage and Treasure of Aeons to close out the game. Lane, what is the final score?
Oh, Necrons with paint got 77. DeathWatch, tis but 40. So we only got 40 today.
Not the highest scoring game I'd like to see for the Crons, but I was able to at least keep the DeathWatch at bay. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to do a quick recap afterwards. And thanks for watching.